And now we are live on YouTube. Welcome, one and all. I am Chaos Kristof, and I am here to regale you with the works of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm going to be filming video on my phone for Twitch because that seems to be the only thing I can get to work. And on my computer, I will be recording the audio and I will mix them together at a later time for individual videos and shorts. I think I've got everything pretty much lined up. So, without further ado, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each desperate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madame, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Then into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, something louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice? Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Apologies, I am going to go back. Oh, Sinon Gustamui. It's the reading fun is the best one that seemed to make any sense. But I'm just going to keep on reading because that's what I feel like doing. Uh, Reading Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, um, to start with. Just kind of going through a few of Edgar Allan Poe's works and recording because people say that they like my voice, and so I might as well do something with it. Anyway, moving right along. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched upon my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird upon his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke. Let's redo that one. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster still, his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope the melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheel the cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet seeking, I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloatly... That one did not end right. Let's try that again. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind offence, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempter pest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we doth adore, tell the soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Hello, cat. You must not get in the way. You can sit next to me. Stop. No. No. That's fine. You can sit right there. All right. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. And that's one story done. Be that word our sign. Oh, darn it. I need to redo that last one there. I didn't get it recorded. Well, I got it recorded, but not in my other recording thing. Come on. Get to the end. There we go. Once more with feeling. And the raven well, we won't use that one. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a dreaming. We'll try that again. On the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Now I've got a good recording of it. Woohoo! Save project as Raven. EAP 1. Because I might redo that and do some other takes of it. But for now, we will do a new one. So, next I'm going to read Lenore. I think I'm going to try and do like 5 of these, maybe. Or we'll just go until 9 o'clock. Whichever works. Whichever the time ends up working. If that makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Anyway. Lenore. Now, this is one that I do not know as well, for sure. Broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell tell a saintly soul floats on the Stygian river. In Guy de Vere hast thou no tear, weep now or nevermore. Okay. I think I've got the cadence. Anyway. Broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll a saintly slow. Let the bell toll, a saintly soul floats on the Stygian river. And Guy de Vere hast thou no tear, weep now or nevermore. See on yon drear and frigid bier. No. See, on yon drear and rigid bier low lies thy love, Lenore. Come, let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, an anthem for the queenliest dead that ever died so young. A dirge for her, the doubly dead, in that she died so young. That one's a little bit trickier, probably just because I don't know it as well. But also it's just a little bit trickier, maybe. Anyway, getting ready to turn the page. Okay. Wretches, ye loved her for her wealth and hated her for her pride, and when she fell in feeble health, ye blessed her that she died. How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem how be sung? By you, by yours, the evil eye, by yours, the slanderous tongue, that did to death the innocence, that died and died so young. Oh, nope, stop that. Flip an extra page. Peccavimus? I do not know this word. Let me make sure I say it right.
Peccavimus.
Peccavimus. Okay. It moved where things were a little bit. Okay. Peccavimus, but rave not thus, and let a Sabbath song go up to God so solemnly the dead may feel no wrong. The sweet Lenore hath gone before with hope that flew beside, leaving thee wild for the dear child that should have been thy bride. For her the fair and debonair that now so lowly lies, the life upon her yellow hair, but not within her eyes. The life still there upon her hair, the death upon her eyes. Avaunt to-night, my heart is light, no dirge will I upraise, but wait the angel on her flight with a paean of old days. Let no bell toll, lest her sweet soul, amid its hallowed mirth, should catch the note as it doth float up from the damned earth. To friends above, from fiends below, the indignant. To friends above, from fiends below, the indignant ghost is riven from hell unto a high estate far up within the heaven, from grief and groan to a golden throne beside the King of heaven. Yeah, that's one that I'm. So that is Lenore. That's definitely one that I will be redoing before I post a final version on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna probably do some shorts of it, I guess. Get the other system back up so I can see what's going on. Come on. Yeah, it says it's going. I think it's just a black screen, but it's going. Yeah. For some reason, it's not actually showing the picture that I'm telling it to, that I told it to. Oh well. I'm not good at this stuff anyway. Just making it up as I go along. All right. Now, this is a shorter one. Um, hmm. I'm not 100% sure. So, Valentine, on the thing here, for her this rhyme is penned, whose luminous eyes brightly expressive as the twins of Leda, of Valentine. Actually, a relatively good time for this one. Um, to find the name referred to in this poem, read consecutively the first letter of the first line, the second letter of the second line, third letter of the third line, etc., so on and so forth. I guess S-P-A-T? S-P... With the formatting for the way it is in this particular book that I'm reading from, S-P-A... S-P-A-T... see. S-P-A-T-O... S-P-A-T-O... I... I don't know. It's a little difficult because the way that it's indented and stuff, I'm not 100% sure which line it's counting. Uh, Technically speaking, the second line could be part of the first sentence, where instead it would be S-E, S-E-O-R. I don't know. That is not technically important for what I'm doing here, where I'm just reading aloud the uh, the poem of Valentine by Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know. I might have to figure that out later. Just because of curiosity, if nothing else. Shall find her own sweet name that nestling lies upon the page enwrapped from every reader. Search narrowly the lines, they hold a treasure, divine talisman and amulet that must be worn at heart. Search well the measure, the words, the syllables. Do not forget the trivialest point, or you may lose your labor. And yet there is in this no Gordian knot which one might not undo without a sabre. If one could merely comprehend the plot enwritten upon the leaf where now are peering eyes, scintillating soul, there lie perdus, three eloquent words oft uttered in the hearing of poets by poets, as the name is a poet's too. Its letters, although naturally lying, like the knight Pinto Mendez Ferdinando, still form a synonym for truth. Cease trying. You will not read the riddle, though you can do the best you can do. And that's it. So yeah, that's one where I can definitely appreciate it. Um, I am not great at riddles, relatively speaking. Um, a Valentine. Just making sure and saving these files so that I can come back to them later. Oh, that's what happened. I forgot it did that. It's not that the book moved, it's that the recording thing moved. Anyway. Okay. Appeared in the International Miscellany edition. To Helen. I saw thee once, once only years ago. I must not say how many, but not many. It was a July midnight, and from out a full-orbed moon that like thine own soul soaring sought a precipitate pathway up through heaven, there fell a silvery silken veil of light, with quietude and sultriness and slumber, upon the upturned faces of 1,000 roses that grew in an enchanted garden, where no wind dared to stir, unless on tiptoe fell on the upturned faces of these roses, that gave out, in return for the love-light, their arduous souls in an ecstatic death, fell on the upturned faces of these roses, that smiled and died in this parterre enchanted by thee and by the poetry of thy presence. Doesn't flow quite as much as Raven, of course, but or even Lenore. Anyway, just had a terrible thought that I hope never actually comes to be. I'm getting distracted again. Clad all in white upon a violet bank, I saw thee half reclining while the moon fell on the upturned faces of the roses, and on thine own upturned, alas, in sorrow. Was it not fate that on this July midnight, was it not fate, whose name is also sorrow, that bade me pause before that garden gate, to breathe the incense of those slumbering roses? No footstep stirred, the hated world all slept, save only thee and me. I paused, I looked, and in an instant all things disappeared. Ah, bear in mind this garden was enchanted. The pearly lustre of the moon went out. The mossy banks and the meandering paths, the happy flowers and the repining trees, were seen no more. The very roses' odors died in the arms of the adoring airs. After all expired save thee, save less than thou, save only the divine light in thine eyes, save but the soul in thine uplifted eyes. I saw but them, they were the world to me. I saw but them, saw only them for hours, saw only them until the room, saw only them until the moon went down. What wild heart histories seemed to lie enwritten upon those crystalline celestial spheres! How dark a woe, yet how sublime a hope! How silently serene a sea of pride! How daring an ambition, yet how deep, how fathomless a capacity for love! But now, at length, dear Dian sank from sight into a western couch of thundercloud, and thou, a ghost amidst the entombing trees, didst thou glide away, only thine eyes remained. They would not go, they never yet have gone, lighting my lonely path home that night. Flip the page. They have not left me, as if my hopes have since. They follow me, they lead me through the years. They are my ministers, yet I their slave. Their office is to illumine and enkindle. My duty to be saved by their bright light, and purified in their electric fire, and sanctified in their Elysian fire. They fill my hope with beauty, which is hope. They fill my soul with beauty, which is hope, and are far up in heaven the stars I kneel to, in the sad, silent watches of my night, while even in the meridian glare of day I see them still, two sweetly scintillant Venuses, unextinguished. In the sad silent watches of my night, while even in the meridian glare of day I see them still, two sweetly scintillating Venuses, unextinguished by the sun. Close enough. And save project as to Helen, right? to Helen. To MLS. I don't know what this one is. Not long ago, the writer of these lines in the mad pride of intellectuality maintained the power of words denied that ever a thought arose within the human brain. Tongue. So, most of these, it's a first time read. So, it's not the best take, it's just the first take. But, gotta start somewhere. To MLS. Nor long ago the writer of these lines, in the mad pride of intellectuality, maintained the power of words denied that ever a thought arose within the human brain beyond the utterance of the human tongue. And now, as if in mockery of that boast, two words, two foreign soft dissyllables, Italian tones, made only to be murmured by angels dreaming in the moonlit dew that hangs like chains of pearl on Hermon Hill, have stirred from out the abysses of his heart, unthought-like thoughts that are the souls of thought, richer, far wider, richer, far wilder, far diviner visions than even the seraph harper Israfel, who has the sweetest voice of all God's creatures, could hope to utter. And I, my spells are broken, the pin falls powerless from my shivering hand. With thy dear name as text, though bidden by thee, I cannot write, I cannot speak or think. Alas, I cannot feel, for 'tis not feeling, this standing motionless upon the golden threshold of the wide open gate of dreams, gazing entranced adown the gorgeous vistas, and thrilling as I see, upon the right, upon the left, and all the way along, amid empurpled vapors, far away to where the prospect terminates, thee only. That one, it's hard to find a good cadence for it as a poem, I suppose. I mean, of course, with poems, most of the time you're thinking of um, um, you're trying to do some sort of rhyming scheme and you expect things to build off the previous stanzas, whatever. Um, anyway. Colton's American Review for December 1847 published this poem, signed N.P. Willis. It was also published in Willis's home journal, Edgar Allen Poe. Okay. This is a longer one. The skies, they were ashen and sober. The leaves, they were crisped and sere. The leaves, they were withering and sere. It was night in the lonesome October of my most immemorial year, in the misty mid-region of Weir. It was night in the lonesome October, oh, my most immemorial year, in the misty mid-region of Weir. It was down by the dank tarn. It was down by the dank tarn of Auber. It was hard by the dim lake of Auber, in the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. Here once through an alley Here once through an alley titanic of cypress I roamed with my soul, of cypress with Psyche, my soul. These were days when my heart was volcanic as the scoriatic rivers that roll, as the lavas that restlessly roll. Their sulphurous currents down Yaanek in the ultimate climbs of the pole, that groan as they roll down Mount Yaanek in the realms of the boreal pole. Our talk had been serious and sober, but our thoughts they were palsied and sere. Our memories were treacherous and sere, for we knew not the month was October, and we marked not the night of the year. Ah, night of all nights in the year! We noted not the dim lake of Auber, though once we had journeyed down here, remembered not the dank tarn of Auber, nor the gull-haunted woodland of Weir. And now as the night was senescent, and now as the night was senescent, and star-dials pointed to morn, as the star-dials hinted of morn, at the end of our path a liquescent and nebulous lustre was born, out of which a miraculous crescent arose with a duplicate horn, Astarte's bediamonded crescent, distinct with its duplicate horn. And I said, she is warmer than Dian, she rolls through an ether of sighs, she revels in a region of sighs. She has seen that the tears are not dry on these cheeks where the worm never dies, and has come past the stars of the lion to point us the path to the skies, to the Lethean prince of the skies, come up in despite of the lion to shine on us with her bright eyes, come up through the lair of the lion with love in her luminous eyes. But Psyche, uplifting her finger, said sadly, this star I mistrust, her pallor I strangely mistrust. O hasten, O let us not linger, O fly, let us fly, for we must. In terror she spoke, letting sink her wings till they trailed in the dust. In agony sobbed, letting sink her plums till they trailed in the dust, till they sorrowfully trailed in the dust. I replied, this is nothing but dreaming. Let us on by this tremulous light. Let us bathe in this crystalline light. Its sibyllic splendor is beaming with hope and in beauty tonight. See, it flickers up the sky through the night. Ah, we safely may trust to its gleaming, and be sure it will lead us aright. We safely may trust to a gleaming that cannot but guide us aright, since it flickers up in. We safely may trust in a gleaming that cannot but guide us aright, since it flickers up to heaven through the night. Thus I pacified Psyche, and kissed her, and tempted her out of her gloom, and conquered her scruples and gloom. And we passed to the end of the vista, but we were stopped by the door of a tomb, by the door of a legended tomb. Make sure, yeah. Nope. And I said, what is written, sweet sister, on the door of this legended tomb? She replied, Ulalume, Ulalume, 'tis the vault of thy lost Ulalume. Ulalume. I feel like that. I don't think I've heard that in a. I want to say that I've heard that used somewhere else, but I can't place it. Then my heart it grew ashen and sober, as the leaves that were crisped and sere, as the leaves that were withering and sere. And I cried, it was surely October, on this very night of last year, that I journeyed down here, that I brought a dread burden down here, on this night of all nights in the year. Ah, what demon has tempted me here? Well, I know now this dim lake of Auber, this misty mid-region of Weir. Well, I know now this dank tarn of Auber, this goal-haunted. Well, I know now this dank tarn of Auber, this ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. Well, that's a fun one. As la lume. feel like that could be a an anagram or something. Uladoom feels like something that is just a jumbled up of something else. Okie dokie. Ah, the bells for whom the bell tolls. This is The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. Nope. Okay, that went a lot. Wow, that went way further back than it was. I did not want that. Okay, The Bells. Okay. Here, hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells! How they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the lay air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time, time, time in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintinabulation? Tintinabulation. Okay, we'll go back. Keeping time, time, time in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintinabulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells, what a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight from the molten golden notes, and all in tune, what a liquid ditty float to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminous wells, how it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Bells, bells, bells. Hear the loud alarum bells, brazen bells, what a tale of terror now their turbulency tells. In the startled ear of night, how they scream out their affright, too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek, out of tune, in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation? In a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation. That is a weird word. Not a normal one that we do here. In a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, 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 with a desperate desire, and a resolute endeavor now to sit or never by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, bells, bells! What a tale of terror! What a tale their terror tells of despair! How they clang and clash and roar! What a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air! Yet the ear it fully knows by the twanging and the clanging how the danger ebbs and flows. Yet the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking or the swelling in the anger of the bells, of the bells, of the bells, 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 in the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. Alah. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright? In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy menace of their tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. And the people, the people, they that dwell up in the steeple, all alone, and who tolling, 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 in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls, and he rolls, 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 a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the paean? And his merry bosom swells with the paean of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, 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 in a happy runic rhyme, to the rolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and the groaning of the bells. Well, that's a fun one. Pretty sure that's it for that. Yeah. Okay. Save project as the bells. That one has a couple of not weird, just different ones. Different words that I'm not used to. But it's a fun one, all the same. All right. An enigma. Seldom we find, says Solomon Dundunce, half an idea in the profoundest sonnet. Through all the flimsy things we see at once, as easily as through a Naples bonnet. Trash of all trash, how can a lady don it, yet heavier far than your Petrarchan stuff? Owl downy nonsense that the faintest puff twirls into trunk paper the while you con it, and veritably soul is right enough. The general Tucker Manatees? I guess. And veritably soul is right enough. The general Tucker Manatees are errant, bubbles ephemeral and so transparent. But this is now, you may depend upon it, stable, opaque, immortal, and all by stable, opaque, immortal, all by dint of the dear names that lie concealed within it. So that one's probably another riddle one. But I don't know. Yeah, they're not the cleanest recordings, but I'm not good at editing, so I don't know. Anyway, So this next one is one of the other very famous ones. Um, Annabel Lee. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, and that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cold by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I see the bright eyes of and the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre by the sea, in her tomb by the side of the sea. Again, not the best recording, probably, but I mean, I'm not expecting to draw many people. This is just, I've been told I should do it, so I'm doing it. Anyway. I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, to my mother. Because I feel that in the heavens above, the angels whispering to one another can find among their burning terms of love none so devotional as that of mother. Therefore, by that dear name I long have called you, you who are more than mother unto me, and full, excuse me, and fill my heart of hearts where death installed you, in setting my Virginia's spirit free. My mother, my own mother, who died early, was but the mother of myself. Was but the mother of myself. My mother, my own mother, who died early, was but the mother of myself. But you are mother to the one I loved so dearly, and thus are dearer than the mother I knew, by that infinity with which my wife was dearer to my soul than its soul life. Okay. So, no, that's the wrong button. Hmm. Got thoughts on that one? This next one is very short. Nope, that's the wrong button again. But we'll do it anyway. I'm, in case you were wondering, the reason that I am reading classic stories like Edgar Allen Poe, and I will plan to read others, but classic ones, just in case, to protect myself with uh, things that are in the public domain, so I don't have to worry about copyright crap. Hopefully. Anyway, moving right along. 2F Franks S. I don't know. It's redacted, I guess, for the name. But this is a really short one, so I'll do pretty quickly. I am actually going to have to stop right about an hour because my phone's going to die. So that worked out. Thou wouldst be love, then let thy heart from its present pathway part not. Being everything which now thou art, be nothing which thou art not. So with the world thy gentle ways, thy grace, thy more than beauty, shall be an endless theme of praise, and love a simple duty. I like that. Um, Looks like a whole bunch of acronyms for putting that one. It's 2F dash 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 S S O dash 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 D asterisk. I don't know. So we'll just do it that way. New. The Valley of Unrest. Yeah. The Valley of Unrest. Once it smiled, a silent dell, where the people did not dwell. They had gone unto the wars, trusting. They had gone unto the wars, trusting to the mild-eyed stars. I can't talk all of a sudden, and my hair has gone weird, but that's beside the point. They had gone unto the wars, trusting to the mild-eyed stars, nightly from their azure towers to keep watch above the flowers, in the midst of which all day the red sunlight lazily lay. Nope. It did it again. I don't need to go that far. Let's get back to the right page. There we go. All right. Lazily lay. Now each visitor shall confess the sad valley's restlessness. Nothing there is motionless, nothing save the airs that brood over the magic solitude. By no wind are stirred those trees that palpitate like the chill seas. Round the misty Hebrides? Around the misty Hebrides. By no wind those clouds are driven that rustle through the unquiet heaven, unceasingly from morn till even, over the violets there that lie in myriad types of the human eye, over the lilies there that wave and weep above a nameless grave. They wave from out their fragrant tops, eternal dew comes down in drops. They weep from off their delicate stems, perennial tears descend in gems. They weep from off their delicate stems, perennial tears descend in gems. That sounds more correct. And let's do one more because this one ends at a page, so it'll be easier to find my space, my spot. That's the word. That one. moving some stuff around so the recording's clean. Anyway, the city and the sea. Lo, death has reared himself a throne in a strange city lying alone, far down within the dim west, where the good and the bad and the worst and the best have gone to their eternal rest. Their shrines and palaces and towers, time-eaten towers that tremble not, resemble nothing that is ours, around by lifting winds forgot. Resignedly beneath the sky the melancholy waters lie. No rays from the holy heaven come down on the long night-time of that town, but light from out the lurid sea streams up the turrets silently, gleams up the pinnacles far and free, up domes, up spires, up kingly halls, up fanes, up Babylon-like walls, up shadowy, long-forgotten bowers of sculpted ivory and stone flowers, up many and many a marvelous shrine whose wreathed friezes intertwine the vial, the violet, and the vine. Resignedly beneath the sky the melancholy waters lie, so blend the turrets and shadows there, that all seem pendulous in air, while from a proud tower in the town death looks gigantically down. There open fanes and there open fanes and There open fanes and gaping graves yawn level with the luminous waves, but not the riches there that lie in each idol's diamond eye. Not the galley jewel dead tempt the waters from their bed, for no ripples curl, alas, along that wilderness of glass. No swellings tell that winds may be upon some far-off happier sea. No heavings hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. That one's not. Okay. No swellings tell that winds may be upon some far-off happier sea. No heavings hint that no heavings hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. That's it. But lo, a stir is in the air, the wave there is a movement there, as if the towers had thrust aside in slightly sinking the dull tide, as if their tops had feebly given a void within the flimsy heaven. The waves have now a redder glow, the hours are breathing faint and low, and when amid no earthly moans, down, down the town shall settle hence, hell rising from 1,000 thrones shall do it reverence. All right. And that's the city in the sea. I need to name both of those. All right. Close that one. And this other one was the Valley of Unrest. That's fine. Okay. So that is all that I'm going to do today. I'm gonna try and do a couple, maybe about an hour's worth. Maybe every other day, and then I'll work on the other day. I'll work on the actual recordings, get those posted on my YouTube channel, which I need to make sure is on my Twitch. Yeah. At the very least, this is going to be posted as Kristof Reads. That's the plan. Apparently, I guess you're still on here, watching, listening. I appreciate it. But my phone is gonna die, so that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching and listening as I start on this path of just reading audiobooks, making my own audiobooks, whatever. All right. Okay, bye. That's someone else's exit. I need to come up with my own exit. Oh well. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. End. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, I gotta stop this one too. Yeah,